Hi folks, today we're going to do a session on stinky fish. And you're wondering, why is Marsha dressed up like a Viking? Well, first of all, thank you Epcot Center for this great hat. Ka-ka-ching! But the reason I'm wearing my Viking hat is because the Vikings love stinky fish. What do I mean by stinky fish? Look, everybody's telling us we need to eat healthy, and we need to eat healthy fish. We also want to eat sustainable fish. And most of the sustainable fish are the fish that you would consider to be very strong tasting. But they're also very good for you because they're high in omega-3 fats, which are very good for you in terms of your blood pressure and just general health. So what happens is, though, nobody wants to eat these fish. Things like herring, mackerel, sardines, and anchovies.
Anchovies.
Thank you. Thank you, cameraman. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to do a recipe for herring. But I want to make a suggestion to you. If you've tried any of these fish and you said to yourself, I don't like them, and you're much older now, I'd recommend you try them again. Because as you get older, your taste buds get dull, which means that flavors that you once may have found overpowering are not so much anymore. I mean, my dad is looking down at me from heaven, loving the fact that I eat anchovies now. When I was young and he loved anchovies, I thought he was a madman. So my suggestion is, you may think you don't like them. It may be because of the way they're prepared. It may be you really don't like them. Or it may be that you tried them at a time in your life when you didn't really like anything. So today we are going to make a herring salad that we're going to put on rye bread. And we're going to have with it a cream of cauliflower soup that doesn't actually involve cream. The herring will have a mayonnaise curry sauce. So we're going to start. I have the cauliflower soup cooking. So we're going to go take a look at that and see how it's doing. Let's take a look. So here's our cauliflower soup. All I've done is I've put about 3 cups of cut cauliflower with 3 cups of chicken broth and a clove of garlic. And they're just going to cook until this cauliflower gets tender, probably about a half an hour. So we're going to let that, I brought it to a boil, then I turned it down to simmer. And we're going to let that go until the cauliflower is nice and tender. We're going to go back to our sandwich now. Okay, so we're back and we are going to be making our curried herring salad. So you go to the store, any store will have herring in a jar. It's pickled herring, so that's something to remember because pickling makes everything better. When you're buying the herring, I would suggest you not get any fish that has its own preparation. In other words, just get pickled herring. Don't get herring in dill sauce or cream sauce or sour cream or anything like that. Get the plainest herring you can get because we're going to make it nice and you don't want it to interfere with the sauce we're about to make. So I'm going to take this jar of herring and I'm just going to dump out the pickling like that. I'm going to bring it back. Put it in my bowl. That was easy. And so this is pickled herring. I have to admit, when I first met my husband, he loved herring and I didn't, but he convinced me that pickled herring is really not that bad. And you know, if it's prepared properly, he's right. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just taking the pieces of herring and I'm chopping them up into just smaller pieces. I don't need a knife. They're soft enough. I can do this with a spoon. I'm just making them into smaller pieces because we're going to be putting them on toast. Now, what I've made here is a curry mayonnaise. It's a mix of mayonnaise, sour cream, a little bit of coarse mustard, and some curry. And I'll throw the, as John Stewart says, I'll throw the recipe up on the web so you have the recipe for the sauce. And what I'm going to do is just mix some in, just as if you're making potato salad or tuna salad or ham salad or something like that. We're just going to put enough in to make it a nice mayonnaise salad. That's it. We're done. Now I'm going to go off and toast my bread, and I'm going to check the soup. All right, folks, my cauliflower is nice and tender, and the next step will be to put it into a blender and puree it. We've got to be careful now. It's pretty darn hot, and you know, blenders get explodey and all, so I'm going to do this in a couple of batches, and then we'll be back. Okay, so this is my last batch of the cauliflower and broth mix. I put it in the blender. The blender is on low puree, so it doesn't explode all over the kitchen. And I'm going to mash this up, puree it. Okay. Pour this in here. And voila! We have cauliflower soup, which we will take care of in a minute. Okay, so we're going to take our cauliflower soup. And I said it's not cream of cauliflower, and the reason I say that is you really don't need to put cream in your soup. Once you puree these vegetables, you're going to have a thick broth, and that's plenty. Now, cauliflower goes great with curry, and often you'll find a curried cauliflower, a cream of cauliflower soup. Since we already have curry in our herring, I decided that we're going to use a little bit different spices here. What we're going to do actually is put in, I've ground up in the food processor some cashews. And we're going to take some cashews, which are good for you. Nuts and cashews go great with cauliflower. A little bit of cashews. And I've chopped up a scallion. A bit of scallion. And voila! We have our cauliflower soup. Now we're going to get these sandwiches ready. Alright everybody, we've got our toast. I got some marbled rye. And all I'm going to do is to put a little bit of the herring on the toast. And I say a little bit because, you know, these fishes, because they're fatty, they can be very, very heavy. So, you know, you don't want to glom on a whole lot of fish because I can tell you right now, it's going to be filling pretty fast. So we're going to put a little bit of fish on there and a little bit of salad mix on top. Little open face sandwich, and there we are. Cauliflower soup with cashews and scallions and herring in a curry mayonnaise on rye bread. Enjoy! Come back and see me soon!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It occurred to us after watching tonight's episode that the young lady used the word sustainability without defining what it meant. Sustainability means catching and farming seafood responsibly to protect the environment and to make sure there is a long-term fish population available. And herring is delicious. So until next time, good night.
Hurdy-gurdy, verdy-gurdy, yo, yo, yo. Hurdy-gurdy, verdy-gurdy,
Good evening.
What's wrong with you?
It's either this show or indigestion. I hope it's indigestion.
Why?
It'll get better in a little while.